Hi students, welcome to our science class. In the last class, we studied the chapter nervous system. Today we are going to start the new chapter and its name is health and hygiene. In this chapter, we are basically dealing with different types of food that contain different types of nutrition and all. So we are going to discuss that. First of all, we are going to start this chapter by doing one activity. In your textbook, you can see that activity is on page number 79. Please take your textbook and there you can see one activity. The activity is this: tick the food items which are good for your health. You can see here some of the food items. Just tick which are the things that is good for your health. That is a simple task. Just do that. So the activity was related to good for your health. Good for your health. Now the question is, what is health? How we can define this health? Everything we can define. So now the question is, how we can define the term health? Generally, when we see a person, we say that he is a healthy person or that person is very healthy. Now the question is, how we can define this term health? That is the thing we are going to do. So health is a state of complete physical and mental well-being. So, this is the definition for health. Health is a state of complete physical and mental well-being. That is, in this health, the definition of health, we are talking about two things. That is, the physical and mental well-being. That means when a person is physically fit, but if he is not mentally fit, then that person is actually not at all healthy. So, for a person to be healthy, then he wants to be there with physically and mentally fit or physically and mentally well-being. Now the question is, what we are meaning with this physically? Physically means related to body. That is, the person is fit with his body. And what about this mentally or mental? Means he have to be fit according to his mind. That means he is just being happy with his mind. So this is about what? Health. So we studied about the definition of health. It is the state of complete physical and mental well-being of a person. That is what? Health. So this is the definition. That means we said that for the definition of this health, it is having two components, that is physical and mental. Physical means it's related to body and this mental means related to mind. Now the next question is, to stay healthy, what we want to do? What are the things we want to do to be healthy? That is the question. For that, first of all, we want to keep balanced diet. Balanced diet. To being healthy, we want to keep balanced diet. The second point is this: exercise regularly. Exercise regularly. We want to do exercise daily. The next point is this: take proper rest and sleep. Take proper rest and sleep. That is the next point. The next point is this: we want to maintain hygiene. Maintain hygiene. That means to being very healthy or being calm, we want to maintain hygiene. That is the next point. And the next point is we want to protect ourselves. We want to protect ourselves from diseases. So these are the things that mentioned in your textbook to be there with healthy. So the first point is that we want to keep balanced diet. The next point is we want to do exercise daily or regularly we want to do exercise. The third point is this, we want to take rest and sleep properly. The next point is this, to maintain hygiene. And the last point is this, we want to protect ourselves from diseases. So these are all the points that we want to keep for being with healthy body. Now we are moving to the next point or next topic. That is the components of food. Why we are having food? Why we are having food? We are having food to get energy. To get energy. Why we need such energy? This energy we need to do work. Work means to walk, to run, to sit, to wake. Like all the things we need energy. To write, to sing, to talk. Like all the things we need energy, and that energy is from food. So that's why we are having food, and the basic aim of the food is to getting energy to our body. So for that, in the food it is having certain components. That means in our food there is having different types of components, and now we are going to discuss which are the components are there in our food. So the next topic is components of food. So in our food it is containing certain type of substance called nutrients. That is, in our food it contains certain substance called nutrients, and these nutrients help us to grow. These nutrients help us to grow. Then it helps us to maintenance. It helps to maintenance and also repair. In the last chapters we discussed that our body is having number of cells and they are getting damaged and getting repair continuously. So we are talking about that repair here. So our food is having certain substances called nutrients, and that nutrients help us to grow, maintenance and repair of our body. And in our food we are having different types of food, and that food containing different types of nutrients. Basically we have 5 types of nutrients, and now we are going to study that 5 types of nutrients that included in our food. These 5 and also something is there. These all are very important for our human body. Now you are going to study 5 different types of nutrients. You want to remember these names of 5 and they are important, and we will study it in detail also. So the first one is this carbohydrates. Carbohydrates. This is the first one. The second one is this fats. The second one is this fats. The second type of nutrients. Now the third one is this protein. Protein. The fourth one is this vitamin. vitamin, and the fifth one is this, that is minerals. So these are the 5 different types of nutrients that present in our food. And these 5 are important and it is needed to our body. So the first one is carbohydrates, the second one is fat, the third one is protein, the fourth one is vitamin, and the fifth one is minerals. That is CFPVM. CFPVM. The order is not at all important. For remembering, you just use CFPVM and you can remember carbohydrates, fats, protein, vitamin and minerals. So this is the 5 types of nutrients that contain in our food. And also there is having another thing also, and our food containing the other things like roughage. Rather than these nutrients, our body needs other components also, that is roughage and also water. We will discuss what is this roughage and all in our later classes. Now just remember this term, roughage and water also we need in our body. So this is all about this. Now we are going to study in detail each and every component. The first one is carbohydrates. Now the question is, what is carbohydrates? When you study this area, you want to focus that what is this carbohydrates. Then you want to study which are the food items that we can see this carbohydrates or vitamins, like that. So the first we are going to discuss about carbohydrates. Carbohydrates give lot of energy to our body. It gives lot of energy to our body. And these carbohydrates are of 2 types. These carbohydrates are of 2 types, and they are 2 types of carbohydrates are starch and sugar. Starch and sugar. So these are the 2 types of carbohydrates. And why we are having the food which contains carbohydrates, that give us energy. This carbohydrated food give us lot of energy. Now the question is, which are the food items that contain carbohydrates? Now we are going to look that. The examples of the food which contain carbohydrates are cereals, rice, wheat, fruits, corn, potato, honey, etc. So these are the some of the food items which contain carbohydrates. The examples are, you want to remember these examples. These examples are important. So these carbohydrates provide us lot of energy. And some of the food items, we are not saying that all the food items having these carbohydrates. Some of the food items having these carbohydrates, and the examples are cereals, rice, wheat, fruits, corn, potato, honey, and etc. Moreover that, you can refer net and find out which are the other examples of food which is having carbohydrates. And I already said that these carbohydrates are giving lot of energy. Because of that, these food are known as energy giving food. They are also called energy giving food. Why we are calling these cereals, rice, wheat, fruit, corn, potato, honey, all are energy giving food? Because they are giving us lot of energy. And who is giving this energy? Energy is given by carbohydrates that present in these food items. This is all about these carbohydrates, and also you want to remember which are the different types of carbohydrates. Sugar and starch are different types of carbohydrates. Now we are moving to the next type, and that is fat. First we discussed about carbohydrates. Now we are moving to the second one, and that is fat. Where we get this fat from? Fats. Like the carbohydrates, these fats are also giving lot of energy, and so this fat is also called what? Energy giving food. This is also called energy giving food. Energy giving food. Now the thing we want to study that which are the food items that is having fat. The examples are these: vegetables, oil, milk, butter, ghee, meat, egg yolk, cheese, cream, and dry fruits. These are some of the examples of food items which contain fat. Our body needs fat because this fat is providing us energy. And the examples for the food that contains fat are vegetables, oil, milk, butter, ghee, meat, egg yolk, cheese, cream, and dry fruits. Now my question is, I am having too much of this butter, ghee, cheese, like meat, like all the things continuously. Then what happens? Is it good for my body? It is not at all good for my body, and so this fat, our body needs fat, but it has certain limit. When we are continuously having the foods having fat, then we get certain type of diseases, and we call such a state of our body called obesity. That is, when we are having too much fat food, and then we get certain type of state to our body, and that is called obesity. Obesity means ponnathadi. That is this obesity. So that means too much of accumulation of fat is what? Obesity. And that leads to certain type of diseases, stroke, or like heart attack, like many things will happen, and this will lead. So we have to keep certain limit to the having of fat. And also we are having food with fat, and this fat is providing of high energy. So we are storing the excess amount of fat in our body. That means I am just taking some sort of works, and my body needs certain amount of fat. When that fat is excess, that means when I am having too much of food, then what happens? There occurs too much of fat in my body, and then that fat will be accumulated in my body. That means it is getting deposited in my body. So it will be deposited in my body like at the skin and all, and that will damage our body. And we are storing that fat, and we are taking it when we are needing extra energy. And when we are doing exercises, what we are doing? We are just burning this excess fat in our body. So this is all about this fat. you want to remember this fat also give us excess amount of energy, and you want to remember the examples that providing fat. That means the milk, cheese, butter, meat, like all the things which provide fat. This is all about the fat. We are discussing about the topic nutrients and which are the different types included in this. And already we discussed about carbohydrates and fat. And this protein, vitamin and minerals are there, and we will discuss it in our next class. What we discussed today? Today we discussed about what is health. What is health? How we can define this term health, that we discussed first. Then we discussed about how we can say a body is healthy, or what we want to do to be healthy. That is the thing we next discussed, and we studied 5 points related to that. After that, we studied about the components of food. And the components of food is what? The nutrients that present in our body the nutrients present in our food, and also it contains certain type of things like the water and the fiber food and all. So we will discuss it in our next class. Now you want to read your textbook 3-4 times, and this is very simple chapter, and we will meet in our next class with the continuing topic. And